Welcome, Thrivers, to this week's episode of Women Thriving in Business podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Rogers, and this week's episode is a solo one. We are at the midpoint of season 9, and we've had some great women leaders on who have been sharing their experience in GovCon thus far. Lisa, Sonia, Tasha, and Ronette have dropped some gems, and hopefully they've opened your eyes to the opportunities that exist within the GovCon space. They've all come into this space from different backgrounds, which highlights the diversity of thought, identity, and expertise that can create a successful GovCon business. So stay tuned for even more episodes with women who are thriving in this space. So I want to share a story with you all about my experience today. Today, I had to attend an event in Washington, D.C. And when I pulled up the GPS to map out my route, the first route it gave me was one that I just don't take that often. It was just a bit different from the one that I usually take. And I know it's a way that I can get there, but I just was really resistant to taking this alternate route. So I kept hitting the Google Maps alternate route options to see if I could get to the route that was more familiar to me and figure out how much time that was going to take me. So I kept doing it. And finally, I got the route that I wanted to take. That was the one that I usually would take. And so as I was pulling out of my driveway and the direction I was headed, the GPS kept saying rerouting, rerouting, because I was off the original route that it was trying to take me. And as I was driving, it struck me that this is what happens to us in business, or certainly is what's happened to me. Plenty of time I've gotten advice, guidance that felt unfamiliar or just uncomfortable. And I kept trying to get to a solution that fit more with my comfort zone, fit more aligned with my past experiences and the path that I've gone before, even though my stated goal is to grow and scale this business. So I actually need to do something different than what I have done before in order to achieve that goal. But often it's just easier. It's more comfortable to just keep going down a path that you've seen before. And so when you do that, when I do that, we're going to get there eventually, right? I'll get to the destination, but it's going to take me longer. So just as I was driving to this event, I did eventually get there, but it definitely took longer than the original route that the GPS provided. And it definitely took longer than it said it would when we started off on this journey. Because, of course, the reason why I was being rerouted is because there was traffic, because there was a certain event going on. There were just different things that the app, Google Maps, knew about the traffic conditions that I was not aware of. But I was just so focused on going down my familiar path that I was willing to take the chance that I would make it to the event within the time frame allotted and that I would not be delayed. But when you ignore the advice of those who are around you or the guidance that you've been given, now you may actually get to your goal. You may reach your destination like I did today, but it's going to take up more resources. For me today, it took up more time. It took up more fuel. It definitely took up more patience by going the route that was familiar to me versus the one that the GPS originally advised me to take. And so if you take this less familiar path that may be GPS or someone like an advisor, a coach, or even peers in your industry have given, those who have gone before or those who have gone where you want to go, or maybe they've even had a failure or two, they have a very different perspective. And their advice and guidance can help you get to where you want to go quicker. And just try it, shake it up, try something new. And in the best case scenario, you get to your goal, you get to your destination quicker and with a little bit more ease. And now you know you have a shortcut, you've unlocked a cheat code, and all bets are off, right? You have had a good experience. So, worst case scenario, you check it out, you start going down the path, and you realize that your way is actually more effective or efficient, and you can always change your mind. You have the power to choose. You always have the power to choose when there's an option for a new way. But don't automatically reject something because it's new or it's unfamiliar to you. Sometimes you just got to go check it out. And in doing that, you may pass something along the journey that you never knew was there. You may uncover or discover something that you never knew was there just because you are trying a new way. And when you do that, sometimes it's really about the journey and the discovery of self on the journey versus actually getting to the destination in that case. So I invite you to study the roadmap, whether that be a literal roadmap where you're trying to transport yourself from one physical location to another, or a figurative roadmap where you are working on moving your life and or business from where you are now to where you want to go. And as you think about choosing your own path and figuring out your next steps, I invite you to ask yourself three key questions. One, what guidance am I ignoring or overlooking in this moment? Number two, what would my life or business look like if I followed the advice? And number three, what is getting in my way? Where is this resistance coming from? And as you think about those three questions, the answers are going to help you identify your next best steps. I would love to read your responses in the comments. I look forward to seeing what you have to say. And in the meantime, and until next time, keep thriving.